Hi there. This video will show you how to make sure that your Google Docs page numbering starts on the page that you want it to, instead of always on the first or second page. I'll show you what the problem is that we're trying to fix here. If that's not the problem you're looking for, feel free to just close the video. On this doc, I have 7 pages, 1 to 7, which you can see represented here in the table. I'll just show you by scrolling down. See this all the way to page 7. On page 3, for illustration, I have a chaptered table of contents, chapter 1 to 4. Chapter 1, page 4, starts on page 4, etc. So the goal here is to make sure that these are the page numbers that we're seeing on these pages, but that on the table of contents, for example, there is no page number, nor is there a page number on the first or second page. Here in this table, you can see that highlighted. So I'll repeat, on the first 3 pages, we do not want a page number, and then from page 4 onward, we do want that. So let me show you what happens if you use the regular page numbering in Google Docs. At the top here, under the Insert option, you'll see the page numbers, which you can pick from a couple of default ones, which I'll just do for illustration right now. So I just pressed the first option. Now on page 1, we have first page number, page 2 as the page number 2, and page 3, number 3, etc., etc. That's the problem we're trying to fix. I do not want number 1, 2, and 3 to show at all. I want number 4 to start from number 4 and the first 3 to be blank. So let me quickly undo that. Now at the top, that's removed. So we're back to square one. Under the Insert button, under Page Numbers, there's more options. So let me click on that. Here you see the option to uncheck Show on First Page. Now that works well if you want to start on page number 2. So maybe your first page is a book cover, but you do want to start on page number 2. That works, but that's not what we're looking for here. And here it says numbering to start at. Now this is not the page number, the page itself, it isn't. This is just the numbering. So you can say on page number 1 or 2, I want to start with page number 10, for example. Instead, we need to unlock this bottom section here, this what is grayed out at the moment. So how this works is with section breaks, and that's how we're going to solve this problem. I've updated this table to show you the difference in sections. Sections can be created by using section breaks. In this case, page 1 to 3 are section 1, and page 4 to 7 are section 2. The section break that I'll be adding is right between page 3 and page 4. This will enable me to start from section 2 with the page numbering that I want. So let's move to page 3 now and add that section break. Here we are on page 3. As you notice, there's already some text on the screen. You probably have some text already that you want to add the page numbers to later, so hopefully this works for you as well. The main thing to take into account here is that section breaks can be quite finicky when it comes to page numbers. It's still a bit of a silly system, but hopefully this particular solution will work for you if you follow these exact steps. Let's start with step 1, which is adding the actual section break. There's a few ways to do this, but the one that always works for me is as follows. Go to the page after which you want to add the section break. In my case, this is page 3. The best way to do this is to put your cursor at the end of the text, usually at the bottom of the page. Go to Insert, Break, Section Break, Next Page. Now be aware, when you do this, it will actually add a page break as well. So the next page might show blank. This will probably happen, but we can correct that. So I'm going to add this in right now. See, this page is now empty, whereas page 4 has moved down. Now let's move that back up by just backspacing This won't actually remove the section break. This will just bring back the page before and delete the page break itself, but not the section break. That was step one. So add the section break, fix your formatting a little bit, but that should be quick. Now a section break exists. I can show you that this exists by going to Insert, Page Numbers, More Options, and now you can see there's a new option here. It doesn't apply to the whole document anymore. There's now a section 2. We're not going to do this yet because I need to show you what step 2 and 3 are before we can continue. I'll go ahead and cancel this. So now there's a section break. It is invisible just like a page break, but it does exist as we just saw in that menu. Step 2 is to unlink section 1, which is on page 3, and section 2, which is in my case on page 4. You can do this by going to the header or the footer where you want that page number to sit. In my case, we'll do the header. You can click into the header, as you can see here. I just double clicked there. Header section 2. Great, this is section 2 now, page 4. If we do the same on header page 3, the header is section 1. So this is exactly what we want. However, this box here, linked to previous, this connects all the headers and page numbers to the previous pages. This is something we do not want because we do not want those shared page numbers. We don't want them on the earlier pages. So step 2 is to uncheck link to previous. Now we don't have page numbers yet. This is just a step 2. What did happen is that the header disappeared. That's because we're unlinking the two sections, so it does not know what header the second section should have. Quick way to fix that is to just go into the header of the previous section, copy that, go into the new header, and just paste it. Now this header is fixed, and if I click into it again, this link to previous is now unchecked, which enables us to go to the next step, which is step 3, adding the actual page numbers. Now let's click out of this selection and just click on the page itself. The reason I'm doing this is because if we keep this menu open, the page number might actually be added to the header, which is not something we want. We want it on its own page number position on the page. Go into Insert, click Page Numbers, More Options. Again, we see that section 2 shows up now, which is what we want. We'll keep it in the header on the side. We'll show it on the first page, which in this case is now page 4. And you can say, I want it to start at number 1. So your fourth page will be called will have page number 1. Or you can say, I want it to actually be the page that it actually is. So your page count is correct, which is in this case number 4. We're not going to use continue from previous section for this use case. And click apply. Now you see 4 here at the top, which is what we wanted. And this is on page 4 itself, as you can see here on the right on my scroll bar as well. Now let's see if the other sections have the other pages have the right page numbering. So let's first see if page 1 to 3 do not have any page numbers. And there we go. There's no 3 on page 3. There's no 2 on page 2. And there's no page 1 on page 1. How about the next pages? Page 5 now has the number 5. Page 6, number 6. Page 7, number 7. So that's how we did it. We now have 2 sections with a page break in between section 1 and section 2, of which section 2 has the page numbers. Now let's create a new page and see if this continues on if I were to extend my document. So I'm just going to add a page break here. There you go, number 8 shows up. Number 9 shows up. Number 10 shows up. There you go. This was my explanation of how to add page numbering the way you wanted to. Leave a comment if you have any other requests for videos. And if there's another issue you have, I can maybe create another video for you.